Hi everybody, I'm Kathy Goodall. So today I wanted to just ramble a little bit about my weekend and some of the things that I've learned from this weekend. I think if I were to sum it up, I would say that this chat or this ramble is gonna be about balance. So it's Easter weekend, and so on Friday and Monday, Good Friday and Easter Monday, we have a holiday in Jamaica. And normally I use it as an opportunity to visit my family who in Florida. But this year I decided to stay in Jamaica because I needed to take the time to kind of regroup and sort my life out. I'm sweating, sorry guys, I've been like up and down. You'll soon understand why. So I decided I was gonna focus this weekend on cleaning up my house. I have books and papers all over the place because since January I've pretty much just been going. I've had Emerge, which was a huge success, and I am and we are eternally grateful for that. But we have a workshop this weekend coming up for Emerge. I have weekly meetings with my Emerge team because we're constantly planning and trying to figure out what's important to you guys for us to focus on for the upcoming workshops and of course the summit in July. On top of that, I started a new job in January, which in itself is like starting from zero, getting to know a whole new set of people, a new set of processes, ways of working. And then of course there's my coaching, there is my training, there is my studying, there is a lot of other things that I'm trying to juggle. And so I just decided, okay, I had 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, to take the time to refocus and to kind of get settled. So on Friday, my day was spent, I went to church in the morning, and then there's a gap between what I did after church and going to, I looked through video footage for Emerge, and then I went to church again to movie night, which was an amazing movie. It's called Risen. I would recommend that everybody watches it. It gives us a totally different perspective on the crucifixion. So it's not about the crucifixion, it's actually about the impact that the crucifixion had on some of the Roman soldiers and the disciples after the fact. So it's a very interesting perspective. It was a day of reflection for me in the sense that I was reminded that, there's so much to be grateful for. The sacrifice, the grace, the love, everything that comes along with the crucifixion story, mercy, the things that remind us of what's important in life and how it is that we should treat each other. So that was definitely a day of reflection. On Saturday, I spent my day that was supposed to be spent cleaning. I ended up going to lunch with my friend Naomi and her son and his friend, and then I ended up going to my best friend's house. So that clearly cleaning day got busted. And then after spending time at my best friend's house with her kids, my other friend's kids, it was great adult time, but also good family time. After that, I went to dinner with my other best friend. So it was a day well spent for me, even though I had intended to spend it working and cleaning and organizing my life. I realized that I hadn't seen my friends in a really long time and I needed that time with them. Usually we meet together, Mary and Robin, Lamar, Pet, and myself, and it was good to spend time with them individually. And so for me, my time spent with the people that I love, that time is invaluable and irreplaceable. So my first note I would say is make time for the people in your life that matter, for the people that you love, that love you, because it's invaluable and you really only have now. So after that, we had Sunday I was serving at church, so I had to be there early. I picked up my friend's kids who also volunteered to serve, and church was amazing. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that my pastor spoke about, because he talked about forgiveness, but it wasn't really, it was from the perspective of forgive and forget. Now, the forget part is a hard part for most of us, because a lot of people say that forgiveness is difficult, but I don't think that it is. I think that sometimes we think that we haven't forgiven because we haven't been able to let go of what it is that we've been holding on to. And it's funny that, sometimes we think that you hold on to things that you don't even remember about. There are people that you probably haven't spoken to from high school, and you don't even remember what it is that you're not talking to them for. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I think it's important for us to remember that forgiveness is not for really the other person, it's for ourselves. It's to make sure that our hearts are clean, and to make sure that, we are not festering away with feelings of unforgiveness, because that leads to so many other things. But one point that stuck out to me out of his 6 points is that we forget when we grow. And I think that was a very impactful point, because, the example that he used is you're dating somebody and you broke up 5 years ago, and you still have the same feelings 5 years later that you did 5 years prior. That means that you haven't grown. That means that, the place that you were at when that person left, or when you left that person, whichever way, the feelings of hurt, the feelings of anger, and all of those things are still there because you haven't grown as an individual. And he's so right. So I remember I was in a relationship. Somebody had asked me a question last week when they said, how do you let go of somebody that you love, especially when you know they're not good for you? How are you able to do that? And so I think I can answer that question because I had to do it. And sometimes I think that we confuse what love actually is. And so let's just, for the ease of this conversation, say it's love. I think there has to come a point where we have to realize that, one, we love ourselves more. So if you can acknowledge that that relationship is not good for you, then there has to come a point where you acknowledge that you love yourself more, and that self-preservation is actually necessary. That definitely will help to move on. But back to Pastor Chris's point where he talks about growth. So if I'm in the same place where I was 5 years ago, then clearly I'm going to be susceptible to the same feelings that I had 5 years ago, and I would have the same reactions to things that I was affected by 5 years ago. But if I'm dating somebody, if I was dating somebody and I realized that that person was not good for me anymore, and we broke up, and I have taken the time over those 5 years to grow and to develop as an individual, and to realize all the reasons that it was necessary for me to not be in that relationship anymore. 5 years later, I will look back and I should be in a position, where I have the ability to say, what was I doing there in the first place? And that's how you know that you've grown. You've grown when you realize that things don't affect you the way that they used to. You grow when you realize that you don't think the way that you used to. You grow when you realize that you don't associate with the same people that you knew you had to let go of before. You grow when you realize that your interests are different. You grow when you realize that now you start to think about things before you do them. You start to think about the impact that decisions that you make are going to have on your life, or the impact that decisions that you make are going to have on other people in your life that you actually care about. And so growth is so important. And I 100% agree with Pastor Chris when he says that growth actually helps you to forget. So a lot of the things that we thought, were hurtful at one point, or that, we didn't think that we would ever be able to recover from, or rebuild from, or, our heartbreak, we realize that once we focus on developing ourselves, educating ourselves, growing, surrounding ourselves with the right people, loving ourselves in the right way, it's so much easier to actually not just forgive, but forget about the things that once hurt us. So that was my Sunday message at church, or the most impactful part of my Sunday message at church. And then after church on Sunday, I had a coaching session, and then I went to dinner with my family. So you notice once again, there was no cleaning Friday, no cleaning Saturday, no cleaning Sunday. But again, a big part of balance, like I said before, is taking the time for the people that are important in your life, for the things that matter, to create memories. And so it's okay that for things to not always go as planned. So today I was determined, and in the middle of it, I actually got some productive work done. So, you know, balance is important. So today I decided that I was going to spend the time to actually clean. So I feel accomplished because my dining table that was covered with books and papers is now actually clear. My books are stacked away on the bookshelf. Some of them are packed on my desk. And I was in the process of, you know, cleaning. Anyway, I was downstairs. And I had done laundry, folded up towels, hung up clothes, all kind of stuff. I was downstairs now mopping. Yes, I actually do housework, for those of you that think I don't. And I heard a thundering crash. Anyway, I was mopping the floor and I was like, whatever it is, I'll get to it. I finally went upstairs. I didn't even remember about the thundering crash, to be honest. I was about to spread the bed because I had, you know, done laundry and stuff, like I said. Went into my closet and realized that everything was on the floor. Yep, my closet came down. Well, I'm going to tell you, to be honest, I really felt very overwhelmed. Because I was like, you've been cleaning all day, you're tired, I'm about to go and meet one of my best friends for dinner, and I just didn't have any more energy, right? And I realized that I could have reacted one of two ways to this situation. I could have gotten frustrated, huffed and puffed, and, you know, started to cry or something, I don't know, out of frustration. Or I could have just picked up the clothes, put them down somewhere, and then figure it out after. Well, I picked up the clothes off the ground. They're now currently on my bed. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I've made up my mind that I'm not going to spend the rest of my evening trying to figure that out. So instead, I decided to be productive and shoot my Monday video because I'm trying to be consistent while I wait on my friend to tell me that she's ready to go to dinner. As you can see, I'm in a t-shirt and my boyfriend jeans because I am just, like I said, there's some balance. Getting dressed up to go to dinner was not an option this evening. But see, I kind of comb my hair and I put on some lip gloss for you guys. So hopefully my sister will not have too much to say to me. And I just decided that, you know, I'll figure out my closet at another time. I mean, clearly it has to be between tonight and tomorrow because my godson's mom, my sister from Trinidad, is coming tomorrow and my brother-in-law is coming on Wednesday. So my house needs to be in order. So after all my rambling, I want to summarize the points that I hope that you took away. Balance is important. Make the time for the people that matter. Creating memories is just as important as being productive. I still did get the time to do some work. I still did get the time to clean. I still got the time to do my coaching. I learned an extremely valuable lesson at church yesterday. I was serving, so I made time to do that, give of my time. But a big part of forgetting after we forgive is growth. My last very important point, we control how we react to situations. It doesn't make sense to get flustered and annoyed and angry. I learned this from a very special person because I have the tendency to be reactive. But in an effort to grow, I have decided that I'm making an effort to be more level-headed in my personal life. And so I decided that I was just going to clean up the mess and then figure out a long-term plan to fix it afterwards. I'm now about to go and spend some more time with my friends and the people that I love. And I would have recorded my video on Monday, so my coach will be content. So consistency is also key. So thanks. I know my video today is much longer than it usually is, and I hope you'll bear with me, and I hope you got something constructive from my rambling today.